Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to ELC-Studies. Today we will discuss about several approaches to literary criticism. The number one approach is historical biographical criticism. This approach considers the historical context of the author and their work. For example, analyzing Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights within the context of Victorian England. Number two is moral philosophical criticism. This approach evaluates the ethical content of a literary work. For example, examining the moral values portrayed in George Orwell's Animal Farm. Number three is sociological criticism. This approach focuses on the social, as the name suggests, and the cultural factors that influence a literary work. One form of sociological criticism is Marxist criticism, which examines literature in terms of the economic and the social conditions. Number four is psychoanalytic criticism. This approach examines the psychological motivations of characters and authors in a literary work. For example, analyzing the Freudian concepts of the unconscious and repression in William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. Number 5 is practical criticism. This approach examines a literary work without taking into account any outside context. For example, analyzing the use of imagery in Sylvia Plath's poetry. Number 6 is formalism. This approach judges the artistic merit of literary work by analyzing its formal elements such as structure, language, and style. For example, analyzing the use of symbolism in Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter. Number 7 is reader response criticism. This approach considers the reader's interpretations and reaction to a literary work. For example, analyzing how readers respond to the controversial themes in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. Number 8 is new criticism. This approach focuses on the literary work's formal and structural elements rather than its emotional or moral elements. For example, analyzing the use of ambiguity in Robert Frost's poetry. Number 9 is post-structuralism. This approach rejects the idea of a single, fixed meaning in a literary work and instead considers the impact of social structures on interpretations. For example, analyzing the cultural and historical context of Salman Rushdie's Midnight's Children. Number 10 is deconstruction. This approach examines how a literary work deconstructs or undermines traditional concepts or beliefs. For example, analyzing the subversion of gender roles in Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper. And it requires close reading of the text. The last approach and the most important approach is feminist criticism. This approach considers the representation of gender and the roles of women in a literary work. For example, analyzing the portrayal of women in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe so that we come up with an upgraded and emerging versions of videos.